All right, welcome back into another episode of Indiebnb. Today I'm joined by Jamie from the band. Congratulations, all the way over from beautiful Brighton Beach, UK. Jamie, how we feeling, man?
Hey Grant, how you doing, man? Very good here. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's a beautiful Atlanta morning here in Georgia, so no complaints. Already got my jump rope in. We got the blood pumping. We're feeling good.
Hell yeah, you got the endorphins rush.
Of course, of course. Now, speaking of endorphins rush, I would say like y'all's tunes. Congratulations. I mean, that's one of the things I'd say to describe it. Like, for you guys, how'd this whole thing get started, man?
We kind of formulated during the pandemic, just before the pandemic. We were sort of squirreled away, writing. It really coincided with getting obsessed with Stop Making Sense, the Talking Heads live movie. That was on YouTube for free. And that kind of seemed to spark the direction we went in. So Greg, who's the bassist, he and I, we kind of share the songwriting duties, like the initial songwriting. And we were very on that hype together. And that's pretty much what carried the band forward, I think, getting really into that. And it was just us three boys, Greg, bassist, James, the drummer, myself. We were writing. We did probably about 3 shows. I was singing. It became very clear very quick that we needed a real singer, So that's when Leah joined. She's best friends with my sister. They're both singers. And that's how we got to know each other. It just worked. Had the same kind of energy,
Yeah. What after the 3 shows, like what were you getting reviews back, or like did you guys just kind of go back and watch the tape and you're like, man, we feel like we need more in here, more sound?
A little bit of both. Yeah, we'd seen some stuff back. Even the way it felt doing it, wasn't so sure. And I must admit, we did. When you're at a show and you can overhear what people are saying. I remember someone said something. It wasn't horrible. But they just kind of thought, they were like, just another band full of boys, whatever. And I was kind of like, no, I don't just want to be that,
Yeah.
It became pretty clear pretty quick that we needed to expand, in every sense.
I love it. What did Leah bring to the table, like immediately when she got in the band?
I mean, she is one of the most technical singers I know. Her grasp on technique is just second to none. I don't even think she knows she does it. She can sing anything in any style. She is really creative as well. And because we've got so many different influences, she brings a whole different set of influences to the table. And we've talked about that before. We've celebrated that we don't all listen to the same music, so we're not emulating or trying to emulate just one sound or one kind of group,
Yeah, certainly. I think that rings true in the music, because there's like a lot of different tempo changes, a lot of there's definitely some variety as I got into y'all stuff. Like, obviously album coming out February 13th. Super excited about that. Like, join hands. When did you guys kind of first start working on some of these songs? Are some of these oldies, or some of these ones that you wrote in 5 minutes? Like, talk to me.
It's funny. They always say, you have your whole life to write your first album, kind of thing, because this really was a collection of everything that Greg and I had been working on until that point. So we must have had about 40 demos initially. And when I say demos, that's all the way from fairly finished things to scraps.
Yeah.
And then we whittled it down to 20, like 10 each, and then we whittled it down even further. So we actually recorded our EP Slap at the same time. So we recorded 14 songs around that time, but sort of focused on that first, and then moved to Join Hands. That's why they sound so different. But it's funny because some of the more complete stuff that we had, that didn't make the cut. We did sort of find scraps we like, and we did sort of build them up from the ground. So it was a pretty varied experience, and some of it came together in 5 minutes, like you said, and some of it was like a real tough birth,
Yeah. Well, what about Doctor Doctor? I mean, kind of was that one a tough birth? Were we looking for, a more of a 5-minute kind of feel on that one?
That was more of a 5-minute feel. That was that was one of mine. you can normally tell which ones are the ones that I brought to the table on the album because they're sort of the weirder ones. You know, I don't really know why anyone would write this song. Whereas Greg's, maybe I'm just biased. I find like Greg's are a little bit more technically rounded. But anyway, maybe that's just me being self-deprecating. But no, that was a foghorn sample I found, and I was just mucking around in Logic, pitching it, and then I managed to get that drum break underneath it, and I just knew, there we go. And it's often the case when I write a little piece, I'll get bored of it, and then in the same project start something new, and the chorus was genuinely just something else. I found this cool funky sound, that was that, and then I think I might have accidentally dragged them together, and I thought, there we go, happy accident.
Yeah. Wow. You know, with the way it sounds like your process, you guys are, you know, looking for a lick or something like that. So what usually starts the process for a song? Like, sounds like this was, you know, you messed around in Logic. Like, you know, generally for you guys, what does it look like though?
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's messing around in the demo. I can't necessarily speak for Greg so much, but I know for me it'll be finding a loop or, like you say, a little lick or something that I like, and then building up around that. A lot of the time I do start with drums a lot, and poor James, he has to somehow translate some of these drum beats that are physically unplayable into into a real drum kit. But he always does it. He's never failed once.
I love it. What it like? Do you by trade like guitar first, and then like what? And then you where did you get your producing experience? Kind of going in and being able to go through the Logic stuff. Like, where did you kind of get into that?
I think that was just trial and error for quite a few years. I mean, Grant, if I played you some of my early demos, they're laughably bad, like horrendous. And it was just time and time. And I guess the pandemic, we just had so much time to experiment and keep going with it and keep playing. So, you know, obviously that was an awful time, but for a lot of reasons it was invaluable for our band because we could really sort of hone it. But Greg is a pretty good producer and mixer himself. So a lot of the stuff that before we've taken it to a producer, we work with one of our really close friends, Luke. But it's usually, we have a pretty good idea of how we want it to sound. So yeah, just walking around.
I love it. I've you know, again, I've gotten into in trying to create stuff as I've gone and done this, and I've not seen it as come as easy to me. But again, I'm starting at 30 versus 31 versus, you know, starting, you know, a little bit younger. So, but for you guys, you know, as you guys get in, join hands, you know, February 13th, like I said, like, you know, other parts of that album, like where do you see, like, you know, did you guys do the album order all together? Did one person come up with that? Like, you know, how important is that to you guys? As, you know, people, you know, that they listen to it, you know, from top to bottom, or is it more, you know, is there kind of a theme throughout it?
That's a really great question, because I think especially for Greg and I, when we first became friends, we really bonded over the Beatles. That's one of our favorite bands. And, you know, the art of the album, the way you listen through it, it's like a whole piece, no fat. We've always really wanted to have that kind of moment. And the running order, it became clear quite quick. The first track, which isn't out yet, Never Gonna, that's one of Greg's. As soon as I heard it, it starts with this like keyboard drone. I just had this image of like dropping the needle on the record, and then that starts. I was like, yes, that is the one. And the final track as well, another one of Greg's. The ending of that, we thought that would be such a good way for the album to just be stop, done. We did muck around with the order a little bit. We thought our single Fought for Love would be a good opener at one point. But no, it became very clear quite quick. I always used to, when I was younger, like draw like set lists, you know, for like my favourite bands and things like that. I've always had this weird sort of fascination with it. I think it's just a fun little activity.
All right, well, like let's hear it. Dream set list for the Beatles. What are we, what are we rattling off? I'll just let you do the opener and the closer, just so we don't need to go through the full 2-hour set. But opener and closer for you, Dream for the Beatles.
So the closer, I think it's easy. It's the Abbey Road medley. You know, I think Paul McCartney does that now anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, Abbey Road medley to end, and to open. I think it'd be pretty hot. They could do. Did you ever listen to that album? It's called Love. It's like the compilation album. Did you ever hear
I think I've not listened all the way through, not in a while at least. So
it is unbelievable because it sort of takes songs and mixes them all together, and
Yeah.
it kind of starts with A Hard Day's Night and medleys into Get Back. I'll pick that.
Yeah.
You probably ask. You're probably like, "What is he saying?" But yeah.
No, all right. I love that.
Super
I love
niche.
that. Well, what's it go for you guys? You know, you said you played live a few times. You know, was that pre-pandemic with just the trio? And then how much have you guys toured with Leah? You know, as well.
I mean, our touring has been pretty relentless since
Yeah.
2023.
Okay.
We've been going pretty hard. That's our thing. It's the thing, you know, in this business. I'm sure you have it. Like you have to sell yourself all the time.
Certainly.
And I hate it. It's the worst bit about it. But that's the one thing I can confidently say we've got that down. Like our live show is the thing we're most proud of. It's, you know, we just have a good time. It's pretty intense. We give it the beans. So yeah, no, that's like nearly 3 years of like pretty hard touring.
How long did it take you to hone in, you know, the set list? Or is it something you come up with like at the beginning of the tour and you're like, hey, we're ripping this the whole time? Or is it like, all right, tonight we're doing this, tomorrow we're doing this? Like, what's that look like? Is it, you know, a little bit like jazz or not really?
It's we do mix it up quite a bit. It's only recently we've settled on a set list, and I think the reason for that is because our songs have finally got better.
Yeah.
You know, there were times where we had to play a longer set list and we were sort of playing everything we knew, and some of them definitely felt weaker, but I feel like we're at a position where they're all a similar level to each other now. So it's easier now, a lot more set in stone. We've been rehearsing for our album tour coming up, and that's been interesting because we were learning the songs that we've written rather than writing them to play live, if that makes sense. So it's we're sort of working backwards at the moment.
Gotcha. When you do write them, like to play live, like you mentioned the drum, like kind of conversion of the drums to this. Like, is there anything that's like is that the biggest challenge? Is the drum conversion from what you guys do on the, you know, on a record versus, you know, in a live set, or what's any other conversions that, you know, feel, you know, challenging?
I think because when we record, we tend not to worry about the instruments that we can and can't play.
Sure.
You know, if there's like a layer we want to throw in on a, you know, an go-go or a, I don't know, like even a tambourine, shaking a tambourine, sometimes it's physically impossible for any of us to do it. So we do have to put some stuff on backing track. You know, we don't have a keyboard player live, unfortunately. So that kind of thing can be kind of challenging because we want to keep it as live as possible, you know, make sure we're doing everything. So yeah, that's probably the biggest tussle we have, because sometimes I say I'm all for like leave it out, it's fine, this is the live version, but James will be the loudest voice in the room saying no, I want it to sound like the album, you know, we did it for a reason like this. So it's, it's cool. It's an interesting process.
And how much like improv are you guys doing, you know, in the live set? Trying to get the picture here.
I mean, we have like an outro that we always do, but it's different every single time. We tend not to extend songs out or anything like that unless it's pre-planned, because we play to a metronome.
Sure.
So we don't have the most freedom like some bands do to be able to just like flip a song on its head. But you know, our outros are quite different, and James has a drum solo, which is so dumb. But in the middle of one of our sets, that's always a cool moment in the night because he'll just go with what he feels.
I love
so you
that.
know, no one will get the same set every night, even if the set list is roughly the same.
Gotcha. Well, in your 3 years, I mean, talk to me about you know, what are some of the highlighted places you guys have played so far? Like, what are some of the places that kind of come to mind, and maybe some of the people that come to mind?
We played a festival in Finland last year, maybe the year before. That was unbelievable. It was this beautiful setting. It was right next to a lake, and it was in the summertime, so the sun didn't set basically at all. We played about midnight or 1 a.m. and that was the only when we played our set, it was dark. So when we started our set, it was still light. Played, it went dark, and then by the time we finished, it was light again. And there was a beautiful lake, and we just
That is insane. The like 30-minute night.
yeah, absolutely. And then it was just like a perpetual sunrise or sunset. It was unbelievable. We played with another band on our label. They're called Pompoko. Do you know them?
I do not know them. No.
Oh man, Grant, they're sick. I really recommend them. But they're unbelievable. So when you hear them, their guitarist is a big influence. So getting to play with them, watch them every night, chat to them was pretty serious. So that was really cool. Another big highlight.
Yeah. What's y'all's hometown venue you guys love in Brighton?
There is actually so many. We're really lucky.
Yeah.
There's where we played our first show together was Green Door Store. That's like a real good grassroots independent venue. The Hope and Ruin, great sound system. And we're basically, when the album comes out, we're doing a big album launch show with a bigger band, and we're playing at a place called Alphabet, which is quite new. That's really good. It's got like a sort of speakeasy bar downstairs, and then like the best sound system in Brighton upstairs. So
wow,
looking forward to that. Yeah, it's cool.
Very cool. Very cool. You know, as far as like the scene goes, kind of, what are the, you know, have you played in multiple bands in the scene? Talk to me about the, you know, growing up in that, in that, island town a little bit.
It was cool. Definitely before the pandemic. I mean, there's always been a great scene here. It was very garage rock, psych rock heavy. You know, Tame Impala really left their mark on this city, and so did Mac DeMarco. It was all very much like that. But then after the pandemic, all the bands started coming up again, lots of different ones. It changed completely. There's a lot of variation here. It's cool. And we all played in different bands before joining this one.
Yeah.
All quite different bands as well. Like Leah was in like a tech metal band. You know, she was the lead singer. She can really scream. Greg was in like a garage rock 2-piece. James was in a metal band as well. I was in this sort of like grunge band. So yeah, quite different stuff.
Yeah. And you guys all come together to form, some 80s synth pop, like, surprise. It's awesome. What the with the song Easter Island Head kind of brings out, now that you've said that a couple of members have some metal roots, like when I heard that one, it was like, man, this is like pretty heavy, like, Arctic Monkeys or the two guys from God, I can't remember why they escaped me now. Royal Blood. Like I was like, man, like this is like pretty like raunchy, like different than what they've been playing, different than the other stuff on Spotify. So like what, for that song in particular, is that one of yours? Is that one of James's, Greg's? Where'd that one come from?
That was one of mine. That was again. That was hot off the heels of the Talking Heads. Influence that was coursing through my veins at the time. Wanted something very upbeat and sort of it's got that kind of scratchy guitar in it, but I always love it when songs sort of turn on a dime. You're listening and you're like, whoa, okay, sure. And it just so happened that riff just managed to sit really nicely.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I came up with that riff on an acoustic, but that was like a real Rage Against the Machine kind of moment. That was like my jam when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like 14-year-old me coming out of that one.
I love it. And again, like, I know that things are named for whatever reason. Easter Island Head, what's the origin there? Like, you just guys, were you guys going off the Talking Heads, or why do you guys name it that?
Do you know what? I never put that together, but yeah, probably subconsciously. I don't know. I think when I was writing the lyrics, I had a image, in The Godfather, where he wakes up and the horse head's in his bed.
Yeah.
And for some reason, because in SpongeBob, Squidward lives in an Easter Island head, doesn't he?
Of course.
I thought, what if he woke up next to that? I don't know. That is where my head went. It doesn't make any sense.
I love it. Well, kind of going back to the beginning here, like you guys, we formed this band. Why do you guys call it Congratulations? Kind of keeping the name theme there.
I mean, that was a really funny thing. We all came with band names together. All had a big list. I was looking at my list going, I've got some great ones here. It was a hard no to all of them, and mine was a hard no to everyone else. But going back to Talking Heads, we were influenced by how Radiohead got their name, because that is a Talking Heads song.
Yeah.
It's called like Radiohead. They just put it together. So we went through our iTunes libraries, just going through, and Congratulations is the second MGMT album, which we love very, very much. Greg said that, and no one said no immediately. We were like, oh, okay. And then it got to a point where there was nothing else that was even slightly we were happy with. So, yeah, that's how we
Gotcha.
settled on that one.
What, with you guys, as you've toured, like, what has been some of the things? This is a weirder question, but like T-shirts that you feel like have sold out well. Like, does congratulations look, the way you put it on a T-shirt, does that matter? Like, how have you, what have been the things you guys have had success in the merch department with that maybe be off a little bit off the wall?
I think everything, because Greg, he's great at drawing. So everything that he's hand designed has sold incredibly well. So our best selling one, he drew this little man. He looks like I guess he's an apple, and he's got a little worm coming out of him. But he's the little cowboy apple, and he's got a lasso that goes all the way around the word congratulations, which is written in a square. So you're CONG, and then underneath, you can see the word much bigger rather than congratulations, which has to be quite small normally when it's in one line.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Very
the problem
cool.
with long band names. It's hard to fit in on merch and stickers, so you've got to be a bit creative, like you say.
Yeah. Well, good thing you guys got the a person who can draw in the band. That's a huge asset.
Absolutely.
Now this part I do want to ask. You kind of spoke on Leah a little bit of just bragging on her about what she brings to the table. What are your other two bandmates for you? Like, what are they bringing to the table? What do you like about being in the band with them?
I mean, everyone's got great energy when it comes to the songs, which is really cool. But James is like a drummer's drummer. He can tell you like the drummer in any band or any session drummer in the world right now. He's really clued up, but he's so technical, and he can bring like a really cool edge. He can rewrite a part in like a really interesting way. So it's always nice, I think, when everybody's working to make their part as interesting as possible, and he's no exception. And Greg is just a bit of a mastermind, really. He's very talented at all instruments, great arranger, so easy to work with. I mean, I love writing with him. That's how the band really started, because I just loved. I hope he thinks the same. We love writing together, basically. It's nice. It's really fun and really easy.
I love that. Yeah, when it's right, it's right. You definitely can make that feeling. Does everybody have kind of like assignments in the band? Like, who's the social media guru? Who's the the snack getter on the tour? Like, who's the driver? Like, what do we got? Is there any kind of real? Or does everybody do a little bit of everything?
I mean, Leah is our social media queen. She's she's so passionate about it. She just has she's just smashing it right now, and we're so grateful for it. Because, it's not always the thing that everyone wants to do when they join a band. They don't join a band to be a social media guru. But she has risen to the occasion and then some. And she makes it fun as well, for all of us. And I think that's the key. If you can have fun doing it, then that comes across. James drives most of the time. We do kind of share it, but he's our van's dad. He looks after the van.
I love it.
And I'm kind of band dad, I guess. That's what they call me. So,
all right.
In the driver's seat, do the boring stuff.
Love it. I love it. What you guys have a very unique look. There's in the Spotify, everyone's described as colors. So give me the story behind that. As we wrap before we go to Pete Peterson's.
Yeah, that's how Jack White with his different bands, he's always had different colors. That's always just been a bit of an inspiration, really. Like, I look at the album cover for Elephant, and that was a big influence for our album cover for Join Hands, actually. Sort of the color scheme and everything. Yeah. But White Stripes was always red, white, and black. The Raconteurs was like brown and gold. His solo stuff is blue, and we just sort of thought, maybe we'll try and put a twist on that. And we thought, we'll dress in a color each. Sort of the primary colours. It's by no means an original idea. We see loads of different bands do it, but it's just something we've done from the beginning. We thought we'll just keep going with it, and it's just something people can remember you by, like an extra sort of.
Certainly.
I mean, I don't want to say gimmick, but call it what it is. It's a gimmick.
Look, there's no shame in a gimmick. I love a band because there's a goblin in it called Necrogoblicon. I mean, there's a lot of things out there, but the music's great. So again, as long as the music can continually shine. No matter how they get to you, it really doesn't matter.
Well, thanks.
So
I appreciate it.
yeah. The last thing here, I know we've got the album coming out February 13th. Any tour dates that will follow that? And are you coming to the States? Is there possibility you're coming to the States?
We kind of can't. I kind of can't comment on that completely.
Can't comment on it. Hey, all good.
For the States bit. We hope so.
Yeah.
If you'd asked me a little while ago, I would have been like, we hope so. It's tough hangs out here. We're financial challenges, but yeah.
Sure.
But otherwise, we have our UK tour.
Awesome.
That will be the last week of February, first week of March. We'll be away for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Everywhere
All right.
in the UK. And we have our album launch show the day before the album comes out. So full
Nice.
band, no backing track, and we're going to have live instruments on everything. It's going to be a really cool night.
Got it. So Feb 12th, we've got the full band album release show. Then end of February, you guys are ripping it out of the UK.
Yeah, then the four of us hit the road. We got a big London headline at Moth Club, which we're really excited about. That's our biggest headline to date, so that should be really cool.
Let's go. Moth Club. We got to get people out there. Get it going. Well, awesome. Well, hey, look, when we get you guys over here, that in Atlanta, I'm going to do my best to get as many people out as possible. I love y'all's tunes, so it'll be good. But with that, we'll rip into Pete Peterson's party pack of questions. This is 20 questions, rapid fire, kind of to end the evening here. Here we go. Jamie from Congratulations, cake or pie? What do you prefer?
Cake.
He's caking it up. All right, salad or soup?
Soup. Easy peasy.
Soup. I love it. All right, sunrise or sunset? What are you seeing more of these days?
Sunset. I wake up too late. Sunrise.
All right. This was a little bit of an American one, but would you rather hit a home run or score a touchdown?
Touchdown.
Touchdown?
Touchdown.
Love
Yeah,
it.
way harder.
Yeah, for sure. All right, night in or night out? What are you having more of these days?
Night in.
Night in. All right, when you do go out and your jam comes on, are you more likely to hit the robot or the worm on the dance floor?
Robot. Yeah.
Robot all day. All right. Guac or queso at your favorite Tex-Mex spot?
I don't know. Wok, I guess.
Guac.
Yeah.
All right. Waffles or pancakes?
Waffles.
All right. Coffee or tea with your waffles?
Coffee.
Coffee. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
All right. Ninja or a pirate? What do you identify more with?
Ooh. Identify more. Maybe a pirate.
Pirate. You do live on the coast, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Chips or pretzels? And I'm talking about like crisps in that function.
yeah,
crisps or
crisps.
pretzels.
Yeah, crisps.
Okay. All right. Now, chips or tots in the sense of what do you guys think of chips?
Yeah, chips.
Chips
Yeah,
still.
yeah.
All right.
Every day.
TV show or a movie after a long day?
Yeah, movie.
Movie? All right. Are aliens real?
They gotta be. In whatever form that is, I'm not thinking Independence Day. If it's like little bacteria under the ice on Jupiter, or, sorry, not Jupiter, Pluto. And yeah, they're real.
Any form. All right. Is Bigfoot real?
Nah.
No. All right. Is Love at First Sight real?
Yes.
All right. And you've given us a couple bands, but who are two bands that we ought to check out that we might not know?
That's such a good question. Well, we talked about Pompoko.
Yeah.
And really good band called Arx. ARXX. Very, very good friends of ours. Like absolute pop wonders. Unbelievable.
All right. Pompoko and Arcs. We'll have to give them a listen and check them out. Well, Jamie, congratulations. You conquered the Pete Peterson party pack of questions. You've conquered the Indiebnb interview. Everybody, February 13th, the album Join Hands is out from Congratulations. If you're in the UK, let's fill up the Moth Room in London. If you're in Brighton, February 12th, get the full band experience. Jamie, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show, man.
Thanks for having me. That's amazing. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, brother.
See
Thank
you
you.
in Atlanta.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.